Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about something that lives inside every single one of us, a dream. Dreams are not just hopes or wishes. They are the seeds of who we truly are. They are visions of what could be, what should be, and what will be, if we are willing to fight for them. Let's be honest. Chasing a dream is not easy. The world will throw doubt in your face. You will hear people say, that's impossible, or be realistic, or you're not good enough. But let me tell you something. They don't define your limits. You do. Your dream is worth the struggle. It's worth the sleepless nights, the setbacks, the failures, and the lonely moments. Why? Because it's yours. No one else will fight for it the way you will. No one else sees it the way you do. And no one else can bring it to life but you. Fighting for your dream means showing up when it's hard. It means pushing forward when everything inside you says quit. It means being brave enough to fail again and again and still stand back up with fire in your eyes. Some people will tell you to have a backup plan, but I say make your dream plan A and pour everything you've got into making it real. Because you only get one shot at this life. Why not give it all you've got? If you stumble, remember this, falling isn't failure, staying down is. Every great person you admire, from athletes to artists, scientists to entrepreneurs, they all failed, but they didn't give up. They learned, they grew, they kept fighting. So today I challenge you, don't let fear silence your voice. Don't let comfort kill your ambition. Don't wait for permission to live the life you dream of. Go out there, be bold, take the risk, fight for your dream, because no one else will do it for you. And when, not if, but when you reach it, you'll look back with pride and say, I made it, because I never gave up. A dream is more than a fleeting thought or a wish made in passing. It's a whisper from the deepest part of who you are. It's a vision planted in your heart, often long before you even understand its meaning. When people talk about their dreams, they're not just speaking of ambitions or achievements. They're speaking of something intensely personal, a purpose, a calling, a future that only they can see clearly. That's what makes a dream so powerful. It's yours. No one else can fully understand it, shape it, or fight for it the way you can. We live in a world that often tries to fit people into neat categories, jobs with titles, lives with timelines, and paths already paved by others. It's easy to lose sight of your dream in the noise. Expectations from society, family, friends, or even yourself can bury that original spark. But that dream, no matter how deeply hidden, doesn't die. It waits. It waits for you to notice it again, to remember why it mattered in the first place. And once you do, something inside shifts. You realize you were never meant to live someone else's version of life. You were meant to chase what sets your soul on fire. The beauty of a dream is that it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You might want to become a writer when no one in your family reads books. You might dream of opening your own business while others tell you to play it safe. You might feel drawn to a path that looks uncertain and risky from the outside, and that's okay. You don't need validation from the world to pursue your dream. The only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself when you say, this is who I am and this is what I'm meant to do. This is why your dream is so powerful. It's connected to your identity. It's not about the external rewards, the money, the fame, the recognition, although those things might come. The real power of your dream lies in what it brings out of you. It pushes you to grow, to take risks, to fail and try again. It demands your courage, your creativity, your determination. It shapes you into someone stronger, wiser, and more alive. In the pursuit of your dream, you discover your potential. You uncover parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. Think about the people you admire, artists, inventors, athletes, entrepreneurs, or activists. What sets them apart isn't just talent. It's that they had a dream, and they protected it. They nurtured it, even when no one believed in them. They kept going when it would have been easier to stop. Their dream became their mission, and that mission gave their lives meaning. It's the same for you. Whether your dream is to build, create, teach, perform, heal, or lead, it has the power to shape not only your future, but the future of others. That's how personal dreams can have global impact. Of course, dreams can change over time. As you grow and evolve, so might your vision of the future. That's not a failure, that's growth. Sometimes we start with one dream and discover something even deeper along the way. The key is to stay connected to that inner voice, that feeling of purpose. Don't silence it because others don't understand. Don't ignore it because it seems too big, too different, or too far away. Your dream doesn't have to look like anyone else's. In fact, it shouldn't. There's a reason why no one else can live your life, because no one else carries your exact combination of experiences, passions, and potential. Your dream is tailored to you, and its power lies in its uniqueness. When you chase it, you're not just working toward a goal. You're aligning your life with your truth. That alignment creates confidence. It builds momentum. It attracts opportunities and people who resonate with your purpose. But there's another layer to this. When you pursue your dream with all your heart, you give permission to others to do the same. You become a living example of what's possible. Your courage becomes contagious. Someone watching you might say, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's the quiet ripple effect of living a life driven by passion. You inspire without even trying. You don't have to shout from the rooftops. Your actions speak volumes. All of this starts with one decision: to take your dream seriously, to treat it not as a fantasy, but as a responsibility, to believe that it matters because it does. Even if the road is unclear, even if the obstacles feel overwhelming, even if you don't know exactly how to get there, take one step, then another. Keep going. Protect your dream from doubt, from fear, and from the temptation to settle. It is yours. Own it, honor it, fight for it. Because in the end, you don't want to look back on your life and wonder what could have been. You don't want to carry the weight of unspoken potential. You want to know that you tried, that you dared to live boldly, authentically, and fully, that you gave your dream the chance it deserved. And that starts by recognizing the truth. Your dream is personal. Your dream is powerful. And your dream is worth fighting for. Whenever you set your sights on something bigger than yourself, a dream, a goal, a vision that defies what's expected, resistance will come. That's not a possibility. That's a certainty. The moment you step off the path that others have comfortably walked before you, you will feel the pressure. Sometimes it will come from the outside, through people who don't understand, who feel threatened, or who simply can't imagine life beyond the boundaries they've accepted. But other times, resistance will come from within. Your own doubts will whisper to you, louder than any voice around. You will hear things like, who do you think you are? What makes you special? What if you fail? These thoughts don't mean you're weak. They mean you're human. Every person who has ever chased something meaningful has had to confront the voice of doubt. In fact, it's usually a sign you're on the right path, because only those who are trying to grow, to stretch, to live fully, encounter that kind of resistance. The world around us tends to reward predictability. It loves labels, boxes, and rules. If you do what's expected, you'll often be met with applause. But the moment you deviate, the moment you say, no, I want more, or I believe there's something else for me, that's when things start to get uncomfortable. People will question your choices. They may call you unrealistic, impulsive, or even foolish. But here's the truth. Most of the time, their doubt isn't really about you. It's about them. Your courage to step out of the norm might remind them of their own fears, their own dreams they gave up on, or the limits they've accepted without question. And so their resistance becomes a mirror. It's not there to stop you. It's there to test you, to ask, do you believe in this enough to keep going, even when no one else sees what you see? And that is the real test of any dream, not whether it can impress others, but whether it's strong enough to carry you through loneliness, misunderstanding, and delay. Because it won't always be a straight path. There will be moments when the world feels indifferent or even hostile. There will be days when progress is invisible, and nights when you ask yourself if it's all worth it. In those moments, you must remember why you started. You didn't begin chasing your dream because it was easy. You didn't begin because the path was clear or the outcome guaranteed. You began because something in you said, this matters. That voice inside you, even if it's small, is louder than all the noise around you. It's your job to keep listening to it, even when others try to talk over it. There will be people who mean well, people who love you, who want to protect you, and they may try to steer you away from the risk. They may encourage you to take the safe road, to settle for less, to be practical. But their love doesn't always equal clarity. They might not see what you see, and that's okay. It's not their job to believe in your dream. It's yours. You have to be willing to be misunderstood for a while, to be doubted, to walk alone sometimes. Because dreams, real dreams, are often invisible until they're realized. People can't grasp the blueprint you hold in your mind. They can't see the vision that keeps you up at night. And that's why it's so important that you never lose sight of it. Doubt will try to shrink your dream until it fits into a version of life that feels normal. Don't let it. Normal is not your purpose. Comfort is not your calling. Greatness, real, meaningful, authentic greatness, always comes with discomfort. It comes with being told no, being laughed at, being underestimated. Let that fuel you, not stop you. There is a kind of strength that can only be built when you push through resistance. It's like muscle. The more you stretch and strain it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you face doubt and choose not to back down, you are building mental and emotional strength that will serve you for life. And over time, what once felt intimidating becomes routine. What once felt impossible becomes your reality. It's also important to know this. Not all resistance is negative. Sometimes it's your inner compass checking your direction. Sometimes doubt comes to ask, is this truly your dream or someone else's idea of success? That's a healthy question. Let it refine you. But once you've clarified your vision, once you know what you're chasing, don't let anything convince you to abandon it. Not all progress will be visible. Not all support will be loud. But if you keep showing up, if you keep taking the next step, even when no one is clapping, your momentum will grow. You'll start to find your tribe, people who do understand, who do believe, and who will walk alongside you. But you have to earn that by first walking alone. So yes, expect resistance, expect doubt, expect days when quitting looks easier than continuing. But also expect something else, growth, resilience, and the quiet power of knowing you're becoming exactly who you were meant to be. You don't need everyone to believe in your dream. You just need one person. You. Hold that belief fiercely. Let it guide you through the noise. Let it become the unshakable foundation beneath your feet. Because in a world full of doubt, the rarest thing and the most powerful is someone who keeps going anyway. And that someone can be you. Every dream worth having will demand something from you. It will ask you to try, to fail, to keep going, and to rise again, sometimes in silence and sometimes in pain. That's the nature of dreams. They are not handed over easily. They must be earned. And what earns them is not just talent, not just opportunity, not even luck. What earns a dream is perseverance, the quiet, relentless decision to keep moving forward, even when everything inside you is telling you to stop. Perseverance is not glamorous. It rarely feels exciting. Often it feels like showing up when you're tired. It feels like continuing when there's no applause, no recognition, and no guarantee that it will all work out. But this is where the most important part of the journey happens. Not in the moments of celebration, but in the moments of doubt, where your commitment is tested and your character is built. We often admire the results of successful people, the finished product, the shiny accomplishments, the moment they break through. But what we don't always see is what it took to get there. We don't see the nights they stayed up working while others slept. We don't see the rejections, the failures, the setbacks. We don't hear the inner battles they fought just to keep going. All of that unglamorous grind, that's perseverance. And that is the common thread behind every dream that becomes real. Most people stop, not because they're not good enough, but because they give up too soon. They hit one wall and assume it's a dead end, but most walls in life aren't permanent. They're tests. They're there to see how badly you want it. If you turn back every time it gets hard, you'll always stay in the same place. But if you push through, if you find another way, if you refuse to quit, even when you're tired and frustrated, that's when you grow. That's when things start to shift. There's a kind of power in simply refusing to stop. Even when progress is slow, even when the results don't match your effort, perseverance keeps you going. It says, I will keep showing up because I believe this matters, because I believe I matter. That's not stubbornness, that's strength. That's commitment to something bigger than comfort or convenience. Perseverance also changes your relationship with failure. When you're committed to the long game, failure doesn't scare you as much. It becomes part of the process. You start to understand that failing doesn't mean you're done. It just means you're learning. You adjust, you adapt, and you keep going. That's how resilience is built. Not by avoiding failure, but by walking through it again and again and still standing tall. And yes, it's going to be hard. There will be moments when the road feels too long and the reward too far away. You might look around and see others succeeding faster than you. You might feel like everything you do isn't enough. But don't let those moments define you. Let them strengthen you. You are not in a race with anyone else. Your path is yours. Your timing is yours. Trust it. Perseverance isn't just about enduring hardship. It's also about believing in what's possible. It's about holding on to the belief that your effort will eventually pay off, that your dream is worth it, that you are worth it. When you believe in something deeply, you'll find a way to keep going, even when you're exhausted. That belief becomes your anchor. It grounds you when things get shaky. It reminds you that you started this journey for a reason. Sometimes people think perseverance means being fearless. It doesn't. It means being afraid of failing, of being judged, of falling short and continuing anyway. It means waking up with doubt and showing up anyway. It means getting knocked down and saying, not today, and standing back up. It means choosing to take one more step, even when you can't see the finish line. That step may feel small, but it matters because that's how dreams are built, one imperfect, determined step at a time. In a world that's obsessed with instant results and overnight success, perseverance is a quiet rebellion. It says, I don't need it to be fast, I just need it to be real. It teaches patience. It develops discipline. It forces you to become someone who can handle the success you're working toward. And that's what people often forget. The journey shapes you just as much as the destination. So if you're tired, keep going. If you failed, learn and keep going. If you feel alone, remember that every person who ever did something meaningful had to walk through those same moments. You're not broken. You're in the middle. You're becoming. Let your perseverance be louder than your fear. Let your grit be stronger than your excuses. Let your faith in what you're building be more powerful than any moment of doubt. Because in the end, it won't be the most talented or the most connected who succeed. It will be the ones who refused to give up, the ones who kept showing up, the ones who kept fighting, even when no one was watching. That can be you. That should be you. So keep going. Keep building. Keep believing. Your dream is waiting, but it's not for the faint of heart. It's for those who persevere. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path that leads to it. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, especially when you're working so hard towards something that matters deeply to you. We are raised in a world that often treats failure as shameful, something to hide or avoid. We fear the sting of disappointment, the judgment of others, and the heaviness of feeling like we weren't enough. But the truth is, no one reaches anything truly meaningful without first walking through failure. It's not the detour, it's the training ground. When you chase your dream, failure will show up. That's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're pushing your limits. If you never fail, it means you're not stretching. It means you're staying safe, and safety rarely leads to greatness. The ones who succeed aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall a dozen times and get up 13. They've learned to stop fearing failure and start using it. Failure teaches in a way success never can. When something doesn't work, when you stumble, when you lose, when the plan crumbles, that's when you learn what you're really made of. You gain clarity. You understand what to do differently next time. And most importantly, you develop resilience. That inner toughness doesn't come from everything going right. It comes from surviving what went wrong and choosing not to give up. Some of the most respected, admired people in the world have failed publicly, painfully, and repeatedly. They've launched businesses that went bankrupt. They've had books rejected dozens of times. They've been told they weren't good enough, talented enough, smart enough. And yet they kept going. They didn't let failure define them. Instead, they let it refine them. And that's the difference. You either let failure break you or build you. You choose how you respond. The first time you fail on your path, it can be devastating. You might question everything, your abilities, your choices, even your dream itself. But don't let that moment become permanent. Don't confuse a chapter with the whole story. One mistake, one setback, one loss does not erase your potential. It simply reveals that you are human and that you are learning. You are becoming someone who can endure the pressure, someone who can handle the weight of the dream you're chasing. It's important to separate failure from identity. Failing at something does not make you a failure. That distinction matters. Too many people internalize failure as a reflection of who they are rather than what happened. But failure is an event, not a person. And once you understand that, you stop taking it so personally. You stop letting it control your confidence. Instead, you treat it as information. This didn't work. Why? What can I do better? That's how champions think. Sometimes failure reroutes you to something better. You might not see it at the time, but looking back, you'll realize that what felt like an ending was actually a redirection. Life has a strange way of teaching us through difficulty. The lesson might be patience, it might be humility, it might be strategy, but there is always a lesson, and if you're willing to pay attention, it will elevate you rather than defeat you. In fact, the very act of continuing after failure builds character. When you get back up, you're telling yourself that your purpose is stronger than your pride. You're choosing courage over comfort. You're saying, yes, I fell, but I still believe in this. I still believe in myself. That belief, even if it's bruised, is powerful, and it's more authentic than the blind confidence that never gets tested. People often fear failure because of how others will perceive them. But those who judge you for failing usually aren't brave enough to try anything themselves. The people who truly matter, the ones who are walking their own paths, will respect your effort. They'll see your willingness to risk and grow. So don't hide your failures. Share them, learn from them, own them. They are proof that you are in the arena, fighting for something real. Even small failures along the way matter. They shape your process. They fine-tune your approach. You start to see what works, what doesn't, and who you are in the face of resistance. Over time, these moments stack up, not as a record of defeat, but as a history of persistence. And that persistence, fueled by lessons learned from failure, is what turns dreams into reality. Failure can also deepen your gratitude. When success finally comes, and it will, if you don't quit, you'll appreciate it more. You'll know what it cost. You'll remember the nights you wanted to give up, the disappointments you endured, the times you felt like you had nothing left. And the moment you reach your goal will be all the sweeter for it, because it wasn't handed to you. You built it brick by brick through every setback. So don't fear failure. Expect it. Embrace it. Let it humble you, teach you, strengthen you. Let it show you how badly you want your dream. If you're willing to fail and still keep going, nothing can truly stop you, because every failure you survive makes you harder to defeat. And in the end, it's not perfection that gets you there. It's not avoiding mistakes or getting everything right the first time. It's your refusal to give up, your decision to rise after every fall that will carry you to the finish line. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's the part of the journey that prepares you for what's ahead. And if you keep going, you'll realize the only real failure is never trying at all. There's something deeply powerful about being excited by your dream. That initial spark, that moment when you imagine your future, see yourself succeeding, achieving, creating something meaningful, it can light a fire inside of you. It makes you feel alive, inspired, even unstoppable. That's motivation. And while it's a beautiful starting point, the truth is it never lasts. Motivation comes and goes. It's fleeting, inconsistent. It depends too much on how you feel, and feelings change. But discipline is different. Discipline stays when motivation fades. Discipline shows up whether you feel like it or not. If your dream matters, it deserves more than your best moods. It deserves your action, especially on the days when you're tired, distracted, uncertain, or uninspired. That's where discipline takes over. Motivation might get you out of the gate, but discipline is what keeps you in the race. It's the quiet decision to do what needs to be done, day after day, even when the thrill is gone and the novelty is worn off. That's where greatness is forged, not in moments of excitement, but in the consistency of effort. People often wait for the perfect moment to act. They wait to feel ready, to be in the mood, to be energized. But the truth is, if you only move when you feel good, you'll never finish anything important. Discipline removes the need to negotiate with your feelings. It turns action into a habit, not a debate. You stop asking, do I want to do this today? And start saying, this is who I am, this is what I do. The most successful people in any field are rarely the most talented. More often, they are the most consistent. They are the ones who trained when no one was watching, who stayed the course when others gave up, who understood that progress doesn't come from occasional bursts of effort, but from sustained, focused repetition. They didn't rely on motivation to carry them through the tough days. They relied on discipline. Building discipline isn't easy. It takes work. It takes honesty. It takes getting real with yourself about your goals and your habits. But it starts small. One promise kept. One routine protected. One decision to follow through, even when it's uncomfortable. And those small choices begin to stack. Over time, they build momentum. They become identity. You stop seeing discipline as a chore and start seeing it as freedom, because it frees you from chaos, from regret, from inconsistency. Discipline is not about perfection. It's not about never slipping or never needing rest. It's about bouncing back. It's about returning to your path, no matter how many times you get distracted or discouraged. Everyone gets off track, but the disciplined ones don't stay off track. They recognize the slip and course correct. That's what separates those who dream from those who deliver. And the truth is, discipline doesn't just help you chase your dream, it shapes you into the kind of person who can handle it. It strengthens your willpower, sharpens your focus, and teaches you to manage your time, your energy, your mindset. The dream you're pursuing will demand the best version of you, and discipline is the tool that chisels that version into reality. There will be days when discipline feels like a burden, when your goals feel distant, when the effort feels endless, when comfort is calling your name. But that's exactly when discipline matters most. It teaches you to keep going even when the finish line is out of sight. It teaches you to trust the process even when the results are slow, because every time you show up when it would have been easier to quit, you build inner strength, and that strength is priceless. It's also important to understand that discipline doesn't mean living without joy. It doesn't mean being hard on yourself or pushing beyond healthy limits. True discipline includes rest. It includes balance. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about honoring your potential. It's about knowing when to say no so you can say yes to something better. It's about choosing the discomfort of growth over the comfort of staying the same. When you learn to love the routine, to appreciate the repetition, to value the daily effort, you no longer need constant motivation. You don't rely on emotion to keep moving. You trust your commitment. You trust your plan. And that's when things start to change. That's when the results begin to show up. That's when progress becomes inevitable. There will be times when other people won't see your effort. They might not understand why you're waking up early, practicing alone, studying late, saying no to distractions. They might not get it, and they don't have to, because you're not doing this for applause. You're doing it for the person you're becoming. You're doing it for the dream that chose you. In the end, your dream won't be built in a single dramatic moment of inspiration. It will be built in the quiet, consistent effort you invest every day. It will be built in the early mornings, the late nights, the small choices. And those choices, repeated with discipline, become habits. Those habits become skills, and those skills applied over time turn into success. So let motivation inspire you. Let it spark the vision, but don't depend on it to carry you. Build discipline, practice it daily. Protect it like it matters, because it does. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Cross it one step at a time. Keep walking even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because the path may be long, but discipline will take you all the way. There will come a time on your journey toward your dream when the world goes quiet, when the excitement fades, the support thins out, and the voices that once cheered you on begin to disappear. In those moments, it's not the applause of others that will keep you going, it's your own belief. It's the quiet voice inside that says, I can do this, even when no one else sees what you see. Believing in yourself, especially when no one else does, is not arrogance. It's not pride. It's survival. It's the fuel that keeps the dream alive when everything else tries to convince you to let it go. There are few things more powerful than a person who believes in themselves. That belief isn't loud or flashy. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It's calm. It's steady. It's a conviction that grows in silence, in solitude, and in struggle. It's forged in the moments when you feel alone with your ambition, unsure of the next step, wondering if you're the only one who sees potential in what you're doing. And still, you move forward. The truth is, most people won't see your vision the way you do. They haven't lived in your thoughts. They haven't felt the fire that keeps you up at night. They don't understand what drives you, what you've sacrificed, what you hope to create, and they don't need to. It's not their dream, it's yours. You were given that vision for a reason, and sometimes the world will need time to catch up. Many of the world's greatest achievements were once ridiculed, doubted, or ignored. Innovators, creators, leaders, they all faced resistance, skepticism, even mockery. But they didn't let that stop them. They didn't wait for the world to validate their dreams. They validated their dreams by showing up, by doing the work, by proving to themselves that they had what it takes. Their belief in themselves didn't make the road easier, but it made it possible. Believing in yourself is not about pretending to be invincible. It's about understanding that you have what it takes to grow, to learn, to overcome. You may not have all the answers now. You may not be the most talented, the most skilled, the most confident, but you are willing, you are committed, and you are capable of becoming everything you need to be. That belief, that trust in your ability to figure things out is what will carry you forward when doubt sets in. Doubt will come. Fear will whisper that you're not enough. People you respect may question your choices. Friends might drift away. Critics may speak louder than your supporters. And yet your belief must remain. Even if it flickers, even if it falters, it must remain. Because belief in yourself is the one thing no one else can give you. And if you wait for permission to chase your dream, you might wait forever. You have to be willing to back yourself when the room is silent. You have to be able to say, I'm not there yet, but I will be. You have to be brave enough to keep building even when no one claps, especially when no one claps. Because the goal is not to impress people. The goal is to become the person you are meant to be. Self-belief is not about ignoring feedback or becoming blind to improvement. On the contrary, it's about being open to growth because you believe in your potential. When you believe in yourself, you're not afraid to fail. You're not afraid to try again. You're not afraid to look foolish in pursuit of something meaningful because your belief isn't based on perfection, it's based on purpose. You were not born to live small. You were not meant to shrink your dreams to fit the comfort of others. You were given a vision, a gift, a purpose, and it's your responsibility to honor that. Not everyone will understand. That's okay. Let them misunderstand you. Let them doubt. Let them walk away. But never ever walk away from yourself. When no one believes in you, you must become your own source of courage. Speak kindly to yourself. Remind yourself of your progress. Celebrate your effort. Be your own champion. Because when the storm comes, when the pressure builds, when the results are slow, your belief in yourself is the foundation that keeps you grounded. And know this, the people who truly matter, the ones who believe in growth, resilience, and dreams, they will find you, but they will be drawn not just to your vision, but to your unwavering belief in it. You lead by example. You show the world what's possible by refusing to quit. That's how belief spreads. It starts with one person, standing firm, refusing to give up. In time, your results will speak. Your persistence will make noise. Your discipline, your perseverance, your quiet self-confidence, it will all come together. And the same people who once doubted you may come back and ask how you did it. They may say they always believed in you. Smile. But know the truth. It wasn't their belief that got you here. It was yours. Believe in yourself when it's hard. Believe when you're tired. Believe when the road seems endless. Because you are more capable, more powerful, and more resilient than you know. Everything starts with belief, the kind that refuses to be shaken by the world's silence, the kind that keeps standing even when no one else sees the dream you're fighting for. You are the keeper of your vision. Protect it, nurture it, fight for it, and most importantly, believe in it, especially when no one else does.